In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom, Israelites. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans at this time. I want to say Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai Barakatam to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Ailatan Basham, Yahweh Shai to the sisters. Welcome to our Wednesday evening law class. What's on the agenda this week? Big things on the agenda, man. But the man in the world, the big things he's expecting this week is Christmas. But for us, in the truth, Christmas is not on the radar. We only talk about Christmas in the truth to tell our brothers and sisters in the world that they should come out of idolatry. All right, so, all right, what am I talking about now? Big things going, big things happening. Omicron on the rise. No joy, but Delta still around. You know, Omicron and Delta. Imagine you catch both in the lungs. Omicron love the bronchial tissues. You know, you're probably having a bronchial party. Omicron and Delta. You know, Omicron and Delta. At Christmas time, you know, they're throwing a Jamaican party. What? Some dirty wine and some 630 are going between the two viruses in the respiratory system. Yeah, man. Maybe by January, you're going to sneeze out some little Delta crons. I never know what is going to happen, eh? But anyways, we know that the Most High is moving in this place, because he did say that he was going to send the plagues to free his people in this time. All right. The Christmas season here, which our people love to talk about, is really a time when
Shalom, sir.
Shalom. It's really a time. Originally, it was the Yuletide season. It was originally called the Yuletide season. I think that is a German base term, Yuletide. But this again would have its roots in paganism, when they used to talk about the Yule log. But here you have now our people talking about Christ Mass. And before that, then again, it was originally also the winter solstice.
God.
Feast of Saturnalia, Yuletide season. You call it all you want to call it. Even in the church, they call it the Yuletide season. They call it, there's another name they use. Anyway, we're going to read about them. But whatever it is, the Most High did not give this season to us. The season that he gave to us is to be the holidays that we are, the holy days that we are to celebrate as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, is to be found in Leviticus chapter 23. And then Purim was added, and then Feast of the Dedication in the Maccabees. I think Purim is to be found in the rest of Esther, in the Apocrypha. The same Esther that is in the scriptures, you know. But I don't think Purim is in the scriptures. It is to be found in the rest of Esther, mainly. All right, now, here in Jamaica, you will listen, you listen to your radio, you hear some reggae Christmas carol.
God.
As if to say, now that you reggae-rise the Christmas carol, you know, God will accept it.
Right.
So because you put a little sunshine spin on Christmas. Because we don't have snow out here. So you put a little sunshine spin. That change it? Nope. So you find that the Christians and the Rastas talk about Christmas.
God.
Because the Rasta them sing the song. I really like Christmas.
God.
Jacob Miller did sing that one there. And then you have others. Let's have to change the same Christmas carol. Derek Arra didn't want to. Derek Arra wasn't a Rasta. Never Willoughby did one. So because you put a little island flavor in it, that makes it acceptable? No. It is still evil.
God.
All right, let's see what the scripture says. We're jumping straight in the scriptures. Amos 5:21.
Another one, gun. Another one, gun. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not slack.
Finish that.
Another one, gun. And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
All right, so in the book of Amos, the Most High was telling us that him don't like our feast days that we are trying to come up with.
Right.
We could come up with feast day that the Most High would like, you know. For instance, Purim and Feast of Tabernacle.
Okay.
These were feast days in which we celebrated victory over our enemies. In the time of Esther, the Persians, same oppressor that we have now, but Persia was ruling, and they were serving under Persia. They want to use the little power that they got to wipe us out. It didn't work.
Right.
Instead, the Most High gave us victory over our oppressor, and we start wiping them out. Hence, we come up with Purim. Then in the time of Maccabees again, with the Grecians trying to wipe us out from being a nation, the Most High gave us victory over them, and we came up with the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, this time when the Most High give us victory again, I'm sure we're going to have another feast. Not sure what it will be called. But here in the scriptures, the Most High is telling us that he does not like these feast days that we are having.
Right.
For one, it's not really us come up with it, you know. These were feast days that were celebrated before we got into the land.
Good.
And the Most High had told us to wipe out the nations that were in the land. Make no deal with them. Get them out. Get out their idols. But you know, instead we go down there and the pretty idols, them catch our eyesight and we start worshiping, serving their idols. Once you start serving a nation's God, you know, you put yourself to be enslaved to that nation. And that is one thing we as a people, we didn't get. And the few of us who understood that was so outnumbered that it seemed as if we couldn't do anything. But this time, it's a bit different, because this time it will be Christ who will be given the victory and Christ who will be in command.
Right.
All right, so the Most High said he hate and he despise our feast days. This was from the time of Amos, you know. And look how many thousands of years we still don't get it, man. What, it looks so innocent? Continue.
Another one can. Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offering of your fat beasts.
Right, because what we were doing now is, all right, when we have our holidays, we also have our meat offering and our drink offering and our burnt offering where we do unto God and to the Most High God of Israel. So we were now doing these sacrifices during these paganistic, well, it was Eden then. The pagans didn't come about. Even though paganism goes as far back as Egypt still, you know. But these holidays now and religious practice, we took them on into our culture and tried to syncretize it into Israelite culture. And the Most High had to send prophets to tell us, no, I don't like this thing that you're doing.
Right.
Get rid of it. But just like how today you hear them say, you hear Christians and, well, Christians you would hear say this, we're doing it unto the Lord.
God.
Right? We're doing it unto the Lord. It was same thing back then. Because we were making these sacrifice unto God. We believe that, you know, cutting down the Christmas, cutting down that evergreen tree, putting in your premises or in the town square and going around it and sing songs unto the Most High God would make God accept it, as if, you know,
Right.
as if we hear that him short of new things.
God.
But these were practices that were being done in the land. It wasn't new. All right, so read that verse again.
Another one can. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beast.
Right, so the Most High saying, even though you are doing that, you are doing the the various sacrifices and things. No, I won't accept them. Read on.
Another one can. Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
So you see, we have Christmas songs. It's not new.
Right.
Not new one bit. That's why the Most High said, take thou away the noise of thy what? Viols.
Gone.
Take though you sing unto though you sing unto me, I will not accept them. No, if you in our mind, this is something that is so lovely. So why the Most High wouldn't accept it?
Right.
Because it does not have its roots. It wasn't born out of a good deed.
Right.
And one thing we have to remember is how the Most High, how Christ put it again. You can't get good fruit out of the evil tree.
Right. Gone.
Right? So the roots of Christmas is not noble, it's evil.
Gone.
Christmas roots with that Christmas tree have its beginning in Nimrod.
Gone.
And when you check the Yuletide season, the reason for having the Yuletide season, the reason for talking about winter solstice, the reason for talking about Saturnalia, it does not have a good root. The root of Christmas comes from an evil tree.
Gone.
So even from then, when he was speaking to Amos, the Most High was not with it. So are we thinking he's going to be with it now? The root is still evil. Continue.
Another one gone. Verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream.
All right. So the Most High is going to judge us for these things. All right. Give me now Deuteronomy 32, 16 to 25.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 16. They provoked me, Slakia, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger.
So if you remember when Deuteronomy was written, you know, Deuteronomy was written from we were in the wilderness with Moses.
God.
Sorry, and while being there in the wilderness, we were provoking God with strange gods. After him take us out of Egypt, we were having these nonsense gods
God.
fashioned by ants, provoking the Most High. And he got angry with us. Continue.
Got another one. Gun, verse 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
So this was in the thing there. No? So our fathers knew nothing about these gods that they were having right there in the wilderness.
God.
And the same thing today. Right?
God.
Because Christmas, in the time of Jeremiah, Christmas was a Christmas tree. Right? Christ named born it. So who would name Christmas?
Right, right.
Right? It had some other name. But it was the same. The Christmas tree was the tree was around. And that tree should not be called no Christmas tree. It has nothing to do with Christ.
Right.
It should call it the Nimrod tree. The Nimrod tree was around
God.
when this was being written, you know, because Nimrod was before we even go into Egypt. The story of Nimrod was before we became a nation.
God.
Right? So it was around, but it was more feared because real man head used to hang up under the tree. Those balls, gold and red and silver balls that you see they hang up under the Christmas tree, those were real head of men.
Right.
Who would not bow down to the tree. They would cut off and hang up under the tree. So you know that was a stinking tree after a while.
God.
Right? But they did not care because it served its purpose to drive fear in you. But so much so that Jeremiah, all right, we're gonna be doing Jeremiah. Let's stick to this one. We were in the desert here. We were following the Edens already. That's why the Most High kill out all that generation that came out of Egypt. They came out of Egypt with gods. Plus, they're going to learn some, because now we in the wilderness, we still had contact with nations that were around the land that we were going to, you know, from time to time they would journey there, spy, they would journey there, you know, probably get supplies.
God.
While we were there, remember the wilderness was sand, but we used to go some places, go get the shitty wood and other things.
God.
They want to cut off the head and put it on a tree.
Because, all right, the story behind the Christmas tree says, all right, Nimrod married his mother, Semiramis, right? He married her so that she could become queen. Then Nimrod died. I think he died in battle, whichever way he died. But Semiramis don't want to make her son, what's the term they use now? Like you would have, you know, like now the Catholic Church make certain persons who die, they make them saints,
God.
so that they can continue you can pray to them and so on. Well, Semiramis now want to do something like that to Nimrod.
God.
So she now, because Nimrod was powerful and he was feared among his people.
She wanted to deify him or deify.
Right. She want to make him into a god.
God.
Right. So what she did, was to get the evergreen tree, same Christmas tree there, and put it in they would do it like overnight, so they just come at certain time. And probably they didn't have any special season. They would keep it there and tell the people them that the spirit of Nimrod lives in this tree. That is why it is always green. No matter how the time dry, it's green because the spirit of Nimrod is in. So you now should carry gifts, can give to Nimrod. And if you don't do that, Nimrod is going to cut off your head and hang it on the tree.
God.
So you know, a lot of spies and things would come about now and see who actually come and put gift under the tree. And of course, you know who the gift would be for. It would be for the queen.
God.
So they carry the gift, put under the tree. But there were men like us who say, this is foolishness. Right? Then they would hunt us down and cut off our neck and put under that tree. So it was men who realized that this is foolishness and no spirit there on a tree. I saw them tree, they stick, and we see it already up in the forest and blah, blah, blah. So once you start talking, now, spies are going to hear and carry back your name.
God.
And once the name go back to the proper person, they are going to find you. The next time people see you, it's your head hanging up under that tree. Nobody not going to see when you're getting bearded. So they would just come and say, Jesus, but another man in the talk about the tree and a real something. Come out there. Me I carry presents go put under the here, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the Christmas tree came about. Intimidation. But that was long before Christ came about. So that's why I say we shouldn't be saying on Christmas tree, call it the Nimrod tree. Because that tree was before Christ. So but now we start to do the various ceremonies with the Christmas tree and with the Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven today we call him Easter or Esther. Then I should say Easter.
Okay.
So we start to do, because we know how to make sacrifices in the temple and pour drink offering and so. So we start to do these sacrifices and drink offering and food offering to God in these ceremonies. God said, "Nah, I won't accept your feast. I hate and I despise your feast days."
God.
Why would he hate and despise our feast days? Because it has its root in idolatry.
Right.
It didn't begin of a noble cause. In other words, we didn't come up with the Christmas tree and say, this is unto God. This was before we even became a nation. So its original cause was idolatry. Same thing with the Queen of Heaven. When it comes to Easter time, when you talk about Easter bun and Easter bun and cheese and drink wine and thing, this was done unto the Queen of Heaven.
Right.
And the Queen of Heaven was said to be the god of fertility. In other words, you were praising her for your crops that would come in at springtime.
God.
While at springtime, we should be having Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, and then Feast of First Fruits. So we do these feasts to praise the God of Heaven who created this earth and thank him for these crops and things. But now we're doing it and say it's Ishtar do it. And now we call it Easter. And what they say happened at Easter, Christ was crucified. So you take Christ's crucifixion and you put it to pagan roots. And what Christ said, no good fruit can come from an evil tree. So Christ was talking about these pagan days that people were celebrating, because they were hiding and celebrating these things even in Christ's time, and talk about it's done unto, just like we hear them say today, we're doing it unto God. Nothing new. But its roots is in paganism. So it's not unto God. All right. Read on.
Another one gone, verse 18. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee.
Right. Because if you remember, our forefather, who was Jacob, who became Israel, was definitely formed by God. Remember God, if you remember the story where, what was Jacob's mother's name again? Hmm? No man, Jacob mother. Who Isaac married to. Rebecca. Rebecca said, if this pregnancy is of God, why am I thus? And then she went and inquired unto God, which her husband did. And the Most High tell them that 2 nations are in your womb. So we were fashioned by God. Yeah. Make no mistake, the white man was fashioned by God too, That is why he's doing such a perfect job of busting your ass. Because that was his purpose for that every nation doing their job, is only we one not doing what we're supposed to do. They were made for punishing you when you make a mistake, when you not serving God, and they are doing their perfect job at it. Trust me. We were made to serve God, and we are not doing it. Esau was made for with what? And he was blessed with the sword. You want a better killer on this earth than Esau? Which nation can kill more than Esau? Which nation ever hear that make factory for kill people? All right. None. The Arab come close. The Arabs, at the time of the Arab king, the warrior king that they never get, man. Saladin. There was one named Saladin too. Right? They came close. But trust me, you can't have a better killer than Esau. Esau is top killer. You know the kind of street talk the man say, man, a top killer.
God.
Trust me, the real top killer is Esau, right? So here now the Most High is saying, we forgot, all right, of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful. Why is it called a rock? The Most High is a rock. The Most High unwavering. The Most High is not here today and not there tomorrow. He's always there. Even when we're being punished, he's there because he is the one who's watching over our punishment. Right? And when we are being blessed, he is there. He's the one that is watching over our blessing, because he did say he will watch over our downfall in the same way he will be watching over our blessing. He's going to watch over our curse. So he's a rock. He's always there, right?
God.
And the rock is used when you're talking about the Most High God, because rock stone don't move so easy, ain't it?
God.
Solid, right? But we are unmindful and forgot about God who made us. All right, 19.
Another one gone, verse 19. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
What it means to abhor?
Another one gone. Slack it.
ABHO. ABHOR. King James Version. And what does abhor mean in King James Bible? To regard with extreme repugnance. Find it?
Slack, sir. May I look for it in the Bible dictionary?
All right. And Google it says to feel hatred or loathing for. So in other words, you don't like it. You know, you notice when you go and start to tell people the true things about God, what really is sin. And you tell them sin is the breaking of the law. You even show them in the Bible. You tell them that Christ is black, and they say no. And you find the verses in the Bible will show them that what they start to do. They start to despise you and don't like you. But it's not you they don't like. It's God they don't like. Right?
God.
So these people have a deep hatred for God. And this is the time of Deuteronomy where he was saying that and when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. All right.
Slakia, me no find it in the Bible dictionary.
Right, so it's in the thing there. So when God saw how we start to behave towards him, he start to hate we. Because we who were his sons and his daughters provoking him. Think of you provoking your parents today. Your parents who you know will box off your head and yet still go there and provoking your parents. That's how, yeah, you laugh. That's how stupid we were. You laugh because you know you're definitely going to get a lick down from such parents. Right. That's how stupid we were. Provoking God, not knowing that, you know, God can punish you. Because we're not seeing him, we're saying, sure. But, you know, it was the heathens that were mixing among us that back then that was causing the problem. Just like today. Who give you the Christmas tree today? The heathens.
Gone.
Who set up the whole church calendar and talk about this is the Yuletide season? We have no history of calling anything in our society Yuletide. That is a straight European Esau term. Even though they themselves learn it from the Africans and put their spin to it. They syncretize it. That's what all these religions come down to. You know, you take, for instance, the Rastas, they got the weed smoking from the Indians.
God.
What the other religion, the name again? Madalashi. They got it from the Indians. I forgot the religion. Shiva. They got it from this worshiping of. They weren't worshiping Shiva, you know, but it came out here with the Indians when the Indians came out here as indentured servants. And they came out here with their religion because Hinduism is still out here, right? So they learned that from the Indians and they take it and put it in Rastafarianism now and talk about it come from Solomon's grave and it opened your third eye and one bag of foolishness, right? All right, so where you have for abhor?
Slakia, just the regular Google definition. I never find it in the Bible dictionary. Me that look definition that says to treat hatefully. You know what I mean?
All right. So the Most High began to hate us.
Okay.
And you see, from then, this was in the wilderness, you know. You see what you're feeling today is a result of the hate that the Most High felt when we were in the wilderness with Moses. We provoked him so much that he swore that he was going to kill us all. Moses go and talk him down, to reason with him, show him some points. And say, well, because I am God, I said it already, it's going to come to pass. So in other words, we provoke him so much that him said on things. I don't think there's ever another nation who make God regret anything, you know. But we make the Most High actually regret them take us out of Egypt.
Okay.
And we provoke him to anger. Yeah, man. Just like a little bad picking, you might have just give beer talking. All right. 20.
Another one can. Verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Right. They are a very froward generation. Look for froward.
Another one can.
So you see, it was from Deuteronomy that we were giving him hell with these Nimrod trees and these Queen of Heaven celebration among the other gods, because there were many other ones, right?
Okay.
We even had a god. Well, I know the heathens. They even have a god that they would use on their ships. And they say is the god of storm. I think that one was Milcom. I think so. There was a god that they have on the ship. I don't know how they do it today, but I'm sure that ship god is still around. I'm sure they find some smart way
Yeah.
to tell you something else, you know, like when they're blessing the ship. When they call it again? Where the ship is a ceremony that they take the ship through and they give it a date. And say, all right, the ship was born that day. The same day when they put it down in the water.
Okay.
Right, they put it into birth.
Okay.
And they fling wine, champagne bottles, full bottles of champagne. Lick it on it and break it, and big celebration anytime a ship is to be placed in the water, you know. That is like the birth date of the ship, you know. Mm. And I'm sure that is done to some god, some pagan.
Yeah, man. Without a doubt.
All right, what do you have there?
Another one can. Froward, difficult to deal with, contrary.
Right. So the most I said, we were a froward generation. We were difficult to deal with. We are a very contrary set of people.
Yeah.
And they are no different today.
Can.
Right? Because we still listening to the heathens. All right. Where are we now?
Verse 21.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
He's going to provoke us to anger with a foolish nation. So
Come.
every nation that the Most High put us in captivity with or under is a foolish nation.
Come.
You can't want a nation fuller than Esau. I mean, how can you take the identity of a people
Right.
who are still in the earth, who the Most High have not forgotten, and who the Most High have sworn to bring back to a position of restore. The Most High has sworn to restore.
Okay.
Yet you take their identity. How smart are you, eh?
Right.
Well, the Most High say they are foolish, right? But as foolish as they be still, we don't have no power over them.
Okay.
Just the Most High have power over them. Because they have us in such a grip that is only God can free us.
Okay.
This grip that they have us here under, if Christ is going to free you, can't free. There is so much disunity sown among us. We can't even unite to build to build back one truck or one repair and put back on the road. We can't unite to do that as a people. Trust me. All them trucks you see on the road, you see, just to give a little stupid analogy. All them trucks, I don't know, no group of men come together. It's just one man or whatever, put them fix them or put them out there. We can come together as a people and say, all right, we have 50 acres here, so we are going to plant it and take care of our poor people.
Okay.
That's how much disunity is sown within us. In other words, we can't even unite to free ourselves. That's basically what I'm saying. All right. Next one now. 22 now.
Another one can. Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
You see, this speech here that the Most High made against us is deep. Because now he is so angry with us that he is now looking at us in the spiritual realm. When he said a fire is kindled in him, in his anger, somebody ever do something, it just burn you.
God.
That, well, imagine God describing that. So our actions burn him, right? And this burn that will burn him, it shall burn unto the lowest hell. Now, we know from the Bible that hell is a condition that you are in here on earth,
God.
right? So when he said the lowest hell, it means that there are levels of hell, right?
God.
Because you have someone who rich out the money, yet they are in hell.
Right.
Man in the ghetto, right? It's not all of them, they are in the ghetto, yet still, you see some nice houses in the ghetto, don't?
God. God.
Right. And then you see a ghetto where food for the poor have to come and the very oppressor have to come and bail them out, right?
God.
So even there are levels of sufferation. So this is what he's talking about. When he said to the lowest hell, even the man who is the lowest in the kingdom, the man who you pass on the street and don't see, the man who sweep the street, this fire that the Most High is feeling, even him won't escape his judgment. It's not just your leaders, your noblemen,
God.
government men. It's not just them going to feel it. Even the little man who you don't regard, right?
God.
Even the man who you say, a madman, you know, business. Even him, the Most High. In other words, none can escape this fire that he's feeling, right? And shall consume the earth with her increase, which means what? This is what? The earth's increase is what?
crops and flocks.
Flocks of
God.
various animals
God.
and human.
God.
So in our case, that's why we die so much, right?
Right.
And set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Mountains here generally means government.
God.
So what if we even come together to form a government, him say wanna set it on fire because of the evils that we cause him to feel. And him know that this, what we do in the desert, we're going to do it when we reach in the land. So he wanted to wipe us out from that time. Sure. But, you know, because here we are thousands of years after. And here we have in a class telling people don't celebrate Christmas.
God.
Yeah? So you can look back at, you can look at this and say, but the most I know what he was saying, you know. These people are very forward people. They are forward generation. They are very, what forward mean again? What was it mean again?
Another one can. Forward. Difficult to deal with. Contrary.
They are a very difficult, contrary set of people.
God.
Here we are thousands of years after. We should be having a class now talking about how are we going to really get into that galaxy that we find.
God.
You understand?
Right.
This laugh. But we should not be grappling with the same thing we were grappling with 3,000 and odd years ago. Right? We should be here talking about we're in the Milky Way, you know, that new galaxy that we find. Our brothers in Trinidad, they have a technology that we can put on the ship that can take us there, you know. Yes. And you know, our brothers in the States and the UK, they have this, and yeah, we can, and we in Jamaica, we have good personnel. We can formulate that, and we can, within 10 years, we can get into that galaxy. That is where we should be today. But here we are today. Stop celebrating Christmas. Still idiots. You can't graduate from out of being. That's how difficult we are. And this is one thing that the Edens realize about us, and they pray on us for that.
God.
Because we don't see far. That's why the Most High call us sheep. Sheep is one set of animal. You notice the goats on the road, and you don't see anybody leading them, and they go right at the pedestrian. You ever see the goats you ever watch the goats at the pedestrian crossing? And they stand up there and wait till the vehicle and stop and them carry them kid cross. You ever see a sheep do that? A sheep have to have a man in front of him with the sheep with his stick, and him follow the staff. Because he can't see far.
Okay.
Typically they can't see far, right? They cannot see far. So the Most High call us sheep because we can barely see through one generation. We here celebrating all these pagan holidays and not able to know that the next generation that is coming after us ain't gonna have it easy because of what we are doing. Right? We go and we do evils with our hands, not knowing that repercussion is coming. Right? So how are we now going to try and get to the next galaxy when we can't even get past the wilderness?
Okay.
Right? The Most I have to send stinging serpents at us. Huh? And the few of us who can is too few in number. What we are getting there? We're getting a good shepherd, right? The shepherd is coming back. Christ is coming back. And with that, he will smite the shepherd who always lead us astray, and the heathens who always, the beasts that are always preying on us. Because being a sheep is also good. It's bad that a sheep can't see far, but it's also good because it therefore means that once you have a shepherd, the sheep will be following the shepherd.
God.
You just need to have the good shepherd.
God.
Moses was a good shepherd, but it looked like Moses went away too long in the wilderness. 40 days was too long for them to sit down and talk with God. So they said, you know what? Forget him. And then build idols out there. But that is us. So there's a good side to being a shepherd, a sheep. And the good side in us to being a sheep is what the Most High sees in us. And that is what is going to make him have compassion on us. But right now, in vex now, what do I call it now? Vex like what? Vex like a bull.
God.
Eh? Vex no bull right now. So that this fire is still kindled within him. All right, verse 1 now, 23.
Another one can. Verse 23. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them.
He will heap mischiefs upon us. What is this mischief you think him talk about?
The curses.
The curses. All right. Look what mischiefs in general mean.
Another one can.
But we know when him saying going to spend his arrow, I will spend mine arrows upon them. Well, before Esau learned from the Moabites how to make gunpowder, it was real arrows. But now that arrow is guns. Right? So him send this foolish nation upon us with the guns in the form of the LAPD and the NYPD, the American Police Department, who just keep killing us like yesterday's news.
Can.
Right? Just treat us like how you treat all newspaper, throw it down on the ground. All right, you find it?
Another one can, sir. Mischief, harm, or trouble caused by someone or something.
Harm or trouble, right?
Can.
So he is going to heap trouble and harm upon us.
Can.
Right? Yes, it is done in the form of the curses. But I mean, why we can see, why we can read this and believe our people when our people tell us this truth, huh? Because our people don't have the pretty gods. Our people can't make car like how the oppressor can make a car. Eh?
Can.
Our people can't make spaceship to take us to the next galaxy. Our people can't even make the money for you to spend. So how is he going to come and tell you about God? These are what is flipping over in the subconscious mind of our people. You know? They have no regards for you, no love, no regard. If they don't love God, how they won't love you? They don't love God, so how they going to love you who telling them about God? Oh, man. All right, continue. Verse what now?
Verse 24.
All right.
Another one can. Verse 24. They shall burn with hunger and devoured with burned heat. So like a burning heat. And with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents and of the dust.
Poison of serpents of the dust. You see, this is how we know that our God is real, right? He has feelings. Now, if you're a Muslim and you have never gone to Mecca to march around the Kaaba stone, can the Kaaba stone do anything?
La.
Can't do anything. It's the very same Muslim them who go and say, you never go, we're going to punish you. Right? None of our people has ever said, you are not serving God. I'm going to put these curses on you.
God.
God do it himself.
Right.
The only thing our people say, boy, my picking want something to eat, I'm going to jump down the Monday. Right? Not knowing that he's even fulfilling the curses that the Most High put on us. But we are not able to punish our people in the manner that the Most High put the curses on. So this should tell you that God is real.
Right.
Right? Because look how far me there. Me left Jamaica, me go Sashamani, and them people don't know nothing about God and the curses and things. And watch it. Blasted curse and follow me like one little stinking poop.
God.
Right? You know that kind where you just can't run from. Keep follow you know.
God.
Yeah, that's how the curse follow you. No matter where you go. Look how far, you know, far it is over there from here. Look at the map. It's like at the other side of the world, and there you go up north little.
God.
Right? Right in our corner. It will be a good hiding place, you know. Because the piece of land they get up there is even bush. So you travel half the world away and you're going to bush. And there is the curse following you still. That these things should show you that the Most High is real, because I mean, gunman, not even gunman wouldn't follow you go so far outside. Gunman gonna say, all right, him gone. We don't need to go that far. But the curses follow you. All right, go on. 25.
Another one gun. Verse 25. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray ears.
The sword without. All right, what would be the sword without? What do you mean by the sword without?
Slovakia, like an enemy, like the other nations coming up
So
against.
this is the sword that is not within your people, you know.
Can.
So even them come upon you, right, and bring terror on you.
Can.
Them police in America would just kill black men for no apparent reason. Because all they do is tell lie. Taser, taser, taser. And then oops, things like that. And then go in the courthouse and cry. Right?
Can.
That's the sword without. The young man, the young man who was in his apartment, and the woman going in his place and thinking was. She said she believed she didn't know that it was the apartment. They really look alike still, but true. But that is for me who is not living there. You will live there. The young man's mother said that he went to his apartment, and he realized, say, the place where her son gone to live, all the apartments look alike. So she gave him a doormat to put at his door on the outside so that he don't miss. because she's aware of what could happen. I mean, can you imagine you living in Jamaica here, even in you live in we have apartments here in Jamaica, right?
Okay.
You go and you open a door that is not yours. That's not a death sentence.
Right.
Much less you in your apartment.
Okay.
And somebody come in there and believing that it's actually you, the intruder, and kill him.
Salakia, sir, the problem was that it was a black man who she thought was intruding.
That's what I'm talking.
Okay.
Right? You think that this man was an intruder and you kill him. This is the sword without. So even when Big Bad America belly full now and say, all right, no, we don't need to make any more wars. Because the thing that was bringing the sword on us, was wars. But now we don't need to make wars. Has the sword stopped?
La.
It hasn't stopped. And so is as Christmas. It hasn't stopped. So the Most High going to keep on sending the sword until Christ return. Since as you won't be stopped celebrating Christmas until Christ return, he's going to send the sword on you until Christ returns.
Okay.
All right, so the sword without, continue.
Another one gun. Verse 26. Salakia, you want 25?
Yeah, man.
Another one gun. Verse 25. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray ears.
Right, no one is exempted. The baby and the old man.
Gun.
Don't they kill the babies? That's what Planned Parenthood for.
Right.
Don't we see them throwing out old people out of them house?
Gun.
During the eviction thing here?
Gun.
Look how much trillions of dollars you talk about you give for COVID thing. That's how you know that this money was not meant for you. Eh? They gave out so much money and then you can't appease these people with the couple of months rent that they owe the landlord, paid for them. No?
Mm-hmm.
It not costing 100. It probably not even cost $1 million, you know. When you check it, probably don't even cost $1 million. Because it's not say 50% of the black people, not blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans not being able to fulfill their obligation to the point where they'll be evicted. It don't reach 50%. And you're telling me now you can't pay for them. Stand surety for them.
Slack, yes, sir. Them find billions of dollars to bail out the banks, them do. Slack, yeah.
Yeah, man. Can talk about too big to fail.
Okay.
And then these bank CEO run off to some island, $300 million, $400 million.
Right.
And you don't pursue them.
Okay.
You know, which of them own island. Yeah. They can buy islands, you know. It's just that when you're ready to build on that island, you better be able to get a ship to carry the material over there. Right? But you can own island. So they get these monies and they go and live on an island. So your money then rob, you know, through taxes. And you are not even able to see them on the road. You can't say to somebody, say, that's so and so. Going to live on an island. If you can't go on an island unless you are being invited.
Mm-hmm.
Take to this.
Yes, sir. In any way, shape, or form, you're protected.
Of course. System protect them, man. All right. We're gonna read up little now on the history. Christmas origins, right?
Gone.
All right, the origin of Christmas. Christmas, Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus. The English term Christmas, put in bracket, Mass on Christ's Day. So you have a Mass. The Mass is when you have a church gathering, the whole church come out. And Christmas and New Year is the two largest attending days and for the churches. Those churches that you see huge, they are generally filled on these days, Christmas and New Year's, because everybody going out. So that tell you what, they all believe in the pagan thing.
Gone.
Christmas is a fairly recent origin. It's not that long. The earlier term Yule may have derived from the Germanic or the Anglo-Saxon Giol, which referred to the feast of the winter solstice. So it was called originally the Yuletide season. The corresponding term in other languages, right, Navidad. In Spanish, then there's a Navidad.
Okay.
You know, you sing a song, Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
Right, that is wishing you a Merry Christmas in Spanish. Or Natal in Italian, or Noel in French. You know, the song, the first Noel is actually saying the first Christmas. All right, so Noel, they call it in French. All probably denote nativity. So it was also called the Feast of Nativity. The German word Weihnachten denotes hallowed night. Since the early 20th century, Christmas has also been a secular family holiday observed by Christians and non-Christians alike. So Christmas is one of the most syncretized holidays. Meaning they put so many things. Santa Claus is another different story. As a matter of fact, the origin, you ever watch a show, you ever watch it in show, what they call Santa Claus? Saint Nicholas.
Gone.
The original Saint Nicholas was a black man.
Gone.
Right? From the Eastern Roman Empire that they call, what they call that one there again? I forgot. But I think that man was in Russia.
Gone.
He was in the church, you know. And what he started to do was to do good to children during that time. The holiday was still pagan, right? But this black man was doing these things. And you mean to tell me that they couldn't even let you keep that? Eh? They couldn't even keep Santa Claus black? Since as originally the Santa Claus was the Saint Nick. As a matter of fact, it's Saint Nicholas. You know them talk Saint Nicholas, right? But you know the white man talk Saint Nicholas, and so till it sound like Santa Claus or somebody, and this became Santa Claus. And then the design. As a matter of fact, there was a country. If you Google it, you will find it. There's a country who claim the right. Well, they don't say they don't say that they have the rights to Santa, but they say they gave the world Santa Claus, which of course would come from Saint Nicholas. Christmas has also been a secular, right, Christian and non-Christian alike, devoid of Christian elements and marked by an increasingly elaborate exchange of gifts. In this secular Christmas celebration, a mythical figure named Santa Claus plays the pivotal role. Christmas is celebrated on December 25th, 2021. Saturday, December 25th, 2021. Origin and development. The early Christian community distinguished between the identification of the date of Jesus' birth and the liturgical celebration of that event. The actual observance of the day of Jesus' birth was long in coming. In particular, during the first 2 centuries of Christianity, there was strong opposition to recognizing birthdays of martyrs or, for that matter, of Jesus. So at least the earlier Christians know enough to celebrate birthdays. Hence, they did not want to celebrate birthdays of martyrs. They did not want to celebrate the birthday of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Numerous church fathers offered sarcastic comments about the pagan custom of celebrating birthdays, when, in fact, saints and martyrs should be honored on the days of their martyrdom, their true birthdays, from the church's perspective. All right. So you see what we call it, pagan custom of celebrating birthdays. So
Okay.
celebrating birthday, even them know that it's their custom. It's a pagan custom. All right. The precise origin of assigning December 25th as the birth date of Jesus is unclear. The New Testament provides no clues in this regard. December 25th was first identified as the date of Jesus' birth by Sextus Julius Africanus in 221 AD, and later became the universally accepted date. So this man now, Italian, you know,
Good.
Africanus. Oh, but the same Julius Africanus who Africa named after.
I think the person was Leo Scipius Africanus Seleucus.
Oh, Scipius and Africanus.
Gun.
Obviously, I'm brother. Or some family member.
Gun.
The same name.
Gun.
So this man named December 25th as Christ's birthday because why? They know that December 25th has long been celebrated throughout Europe. Yuletide season, Feast of Saturnalia, Feast of the winter solstice this time. So they just put Christ in the mix. And by putting Christ in the mix, he pull everybody else into it. So now, put it in the church actually. Just like how we used to take these pagan, these heathen religion and put it in our temple. So you would be able to go into the temple and celebrate the Queen of Heaven, and celebrate the Christmas tree, and celebrate Milcom, and celebrate them other ones. All those celebrations, they brought it in the temple at one time. Our people did that, you know, in Jerusalem, you know. And the most I have to, that's why we went in the first Babylonian captivity. All right. So Julius Africanus. One widespread explanation of the origin of this date is that December 25th was the Christianizing of the De Solis Invictus Nati, day of birth of the unconquered sun. You see?
Okay, good.
That is what? The sun in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Unconquered sun, S-U-N, not S-O-N.
Mm-hmm.
A popular holiday in the Roman Empire that celebrated the winter solstice is as a symbol of the resurgence of the sun. So the day of the birth of the unconquered sun, that was the winter solstice. They put it right during that time. But originally, I think December 25th was Nimrod's birthday.
Good.
That's where.
Salakia, sir. This Nimrod was also worshipped as a sun god too, back in the past.
Yes, because they start syncretize a religion around him. After them deify him,
God.
then they put all kind of things, bring things from other religion, and because now you're making a religion around him.
God.
The casting away of winter and the heralding of the rebirth of spring and summer. Indeed, after December 25th had become widely accepted as the date of Jesus' birth, Christian writers frequently made the connection between the rebirth of the sun and the birth of the S-O-N. The rebirth of the S-U-N and the birth of the S-O-N.
God.
You see the big syncretism there.
God.
One of the difficulties with this view is that it suggests a nonchalant willingness on the part of the Christian church to appropriate a pagan festival when the early church was so intent on distinguishing itself categorically from pagan beliefs and practices. So the early church actually had strong struggle with pagans.
Okay.
Until the time when they find a way to bring the winter solstice celebration, December 25th, into the church. And say it's the birth of the S-U-N. Because during the winter solstice, the winter solstice marked the day which is, I think, is the shortest day. And then after that, you get the longest day. So the sun conquering the darkness during this time. Now, that is why the Most High said we must not be dismayed at the signs of heaven, because what's the significance of that? It has no significance. It's just the way the earth spins.
Right.
But they take it now. See, light over darkness, and the light has to win.
God.
Yes, it's the birth of and we can say that Christ was born in this day. Wouldn't you agree, Christians? Oh, yes, brother. And then you have Christmas.
God.
Because the earlier church never used to celebrate it. It is very interesting how these pagans think and get this made of the signs of heaven and bring us in it. All because they can make car and they can make things while we were slaves.
God.
So we think that they are superior. No, we were only slaves because the Most High was punishing us for the very same thing we're doing today. You see? Why were we slaves? Because we were doing these very same things, celebrating Christmas and them other pagan holidays. So if Christ don't come, what is going to happen? You're going to be slaves again. And matter of fact, they're gearing up for that. That's what the resurgence of Donald Trump is all about, Donald Trump never give a black man right in under his time, you know. You notice how racism pop up under Donald Trump? What, you think it just pop up because they want to call you a nigger? No, they want to make you slaves again. Because the South, which was built on slavery, is now getting impoverished. The only thing they know to do in the South, they have the lands, acres of lands that they can farm. They just need the people to work it. That is the build back better. You better believe it. But because there is no such thing on the Most High's agenda for us to put us in slavery again, that's why Christ is going to come. That's not on the agenda again. The Most High works on his agenda. All right. When the light was created as the day of Jesus' conception, that is March 25th, December 25th, 9 months later. Oh, March 25th, that was with the crucifixion. Then became the date of Jesus' birth. For a long time, the celebration of Jesus' birth was observed in conjunction with this baptism celebrated January 6th. Oh, by the way, January was a date that they used to celebrate Christ's birthday too, you know, before December 25th.
Okay.
January, yes, I think the rest of them still have an observance for that.
Okay.
The January Christmas.
Yeah.
Maroon Towns do it in January too. All right, you hear that? And here it is in the thing. Originally, it was celebrated January 6th. But in any case, it's pagan. Because the celebration of birthdays is pagan. All right, I don't think we need to read anymore. Because, all right, we can read this part here. The Roman Catholic churches celebrate the first Christmas Mass at midnight. And Protestant churches have increasingly held Christmas candlelight services late on the evening of December 24th. A special service of lessons and carols intertwined Christmas carols with scripture reading, narrating salvation history from the fall in the Garden of Eden to the coming of Christ. When you're not going to the Garden of Eden, damn lie. You're not just finding ways to put the pagan holidays in the church. All right. Christmas carols that's another story. All right, so back to this now. You know, from that, we should be able to just look at these things and know. I mean, in the same way, many of us just look and say, you know, some of the thing that thing are right. You know, they get this, the gut feeling start tell them say something not right. And then they went and research. I mean, that's how we began, that's how we find the truth. Well, I don't understand this language. All right, some things here in the chat. I don't know what kind of language those. All right, back to scriptures again.
Another one gone.
This time it's Jeremiah 10, 1 to 5.
Another one gone. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
I'm saying Jeremiah
10, verse 1.
All right. So this is what the Most High, and you know what I love about the Bible? We know, in the truth here, we know that from Genesis to Revelation is about the Israelites. Yet still, almost in every book, in so many chapters, the Most High say, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speak unto you, O house of Israel, O children of Israel." In calling him, who him speaking to. So this is talking about Israel.
Gun.
Verse 2.
Another one gun. Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right. So just like how we talk about the winter solstice now and talk about the birth of the sun, originally it was the S-U-N, celebrated from as far back as Egypt. Well, Babylon, but you know, Babylon was before Egypt.
Gun.
Yeah, original Babylon was before Egypt. When Egypt came on, and Babylon was still around as a country. But Babylon was the first country to actually institutionalize idolatry. That's why it became so renowned. And they tried to mix the races. They are known for that. That's the Babylon just mean confusion. All their action just confuse the people. All right, so the Most High is saying we should not be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Who is he speaking to again? The house of Israel.
Gun.
Continue.
Another one gun. For the heathen are dismayed of them. Verse 3. For the custom of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
Right. So, well, today they use power saw.
Gun.
That don't make it right. It's still the work of what? The work of what?
The workman.
The work of the workman, right? It's just that him get modern now and not using axe, using a power saw.
Gun.
Continue.
Another one gun. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
Right. So they cut down the tree and they make all kind of thing, fasten it to stand up so that it don't move. Now, if you notice, they're describing here the Christmas tree, but it's not called a Christmas tree.
Gun.
Because it could not have been called a Christmas tree. Because the term Christ Mass came from Christ.
Gun.
And Christ never wasn't born as yet. This was the Nimrod tree.
Gun.
But neither was it called Nimrod tree. Jeremiah didn't give it a name. He describing what we do, because the Most High would have trained his prophets that these things, even if you call the name now, 200 years from now, it's going to be called something else. But the practice is going to be the same.
Gun.
Continue.
Another one gun. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must need be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
All right. Remember when we said that you had to bring presents on the tree and then cut off it and put on that tree? That's why I say you cannot do evil, because people are People are actually celebrating these festivals out of fear.
Okay.
And even in the time of Jeremiah, you know, they had stopped cutting off people they'd put under the tree, you know. But the story was coming down so long and so fearful. And people were still so fearful. Lord have mercy that they were still doing it. Finish?
Yeah, finish verse 5.
All right, so how far we say we're going again? We're going, come on, 5. Come on, that's it. So
Okay.
we know in a state, in a time when we don't have to, we're not hearing those stories. Because what I am saying, what I am talking about here now is news to some people. Really? People is afraid of these things. But yes, that's what the Bible, that's why Jeremiah say, don't be afraid of it because it can't do evil. Neither it is in them to do good. They
Okay.
can't do good nor evil. It is meaningless. It has no power. But the God who is going to punish you for doing this thing which has no power, that God is powerful.
Okay.
That God make the stench of the curses follow you even into the woods. When you decide that you're going to move away from civilization and go start living in the bush, curses still follow you in there. Right? When you decide that I'm going to move from among these people and go to a land where nobody knows me, I'm not going to live around pure white people, curses follow you because you might be the next black man to get shot. And even if you don't get shot, you become servants to them and you don't even realize it. Right? So these things these things are real. What the most I put on us is real. These meaningless festivals that we are celebrating, it caused us to get worse. So in other words, it is doing more harm to us than good.
Okay.
You put all the money you're going to make, all the gifts that you're going to give the children, all the laughters, all the merrymaking, all the food, it's doing more harm than good. And you doubt me? Wait until January and February.
Right.
Hmm? When you have to go wait a little longer for that salary. Hmm? That is just one. And crime start to go up because everybody spend out their money during this time.
Good.
All the little bonus that you're supposed to get for all from the next 12 months until then wait until December to give you that because they want you to spend it. All right, give me Matthew 7 and nothing else. 17.
Another one. Gun.
So you see, even though we are imploring our people, stop doing these things, stop doing these things. These heathens that are around about us are not blameless. They are not blameless. And that's why the Most High is going to deliver them into our hands when Christ returns.
Gun.
Right? Because we learn idolatry through them. So much so that it come like it stick in our blood or something. Right? All right. Matthew 7. 7
and 17.
Hold on. Right, 17 to 20.
Got another one. Gun. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
All right, 18.
Got another one. Gun. Verse 18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
All right. So from the time of Jeremiah has been describing the Christmas tree, the Nimrod tree, to us. Because it was from a pagan origin or an evil, corrupt beginning. Thousands of years later, you taking it, putting it in the church, you making Christmas carols about the birth of Christ,
God.
you making, think of all the lovely things that you put around Christmas time. Still cannot make it unto God.
God.
You cannot make Christmas be unto God, no matter what you put in it. Because it's the root cause of it is corrupt. The root cause of it is not of God. The root cause of it is pagan. The root cause of it is from the Eden. It is of an evil origin.
God.
That is designed to bring credence or to take away to take away worship from the Most High God of Israel. That's what it's originally for. So you taking it now and you gather around it and you singing with your Bible verse and your Christmas carols and your lovely foods, even if it is clean foods and not unclean foods, still cannot make Christmas holy. You could have tried a little more because its origin is not holy. Read on.
Another one. Gun. Verse 19. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
Right. That is why the Bible tells you what is going to happen, that the Most High is going to famish the gods. 20.
Another one. Gun. Verse 20. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them.
Which is why you celebrating Christmas, we try to tell you, but we don't have no Latin part with you.
God.
You gonna be hewn down and cast into the fire. And we don't want that the spark to catch us.
God.
So we stay far and we tell you, don't celebrate Christmas, don't do this, don't do that. It's for your own good. Question?
Like this, as I hear you speak of that, even with, you said that the practices are still the same. The name of events might change, but the practices are still the same as relates to Christmas. You have, even in the organizations, regardless of what organizations you work, you find that when you are when you decide that you're not going to partake in any form of preparations, not going to events and so forth, that you're sidelined or you're scoffed at as the odd one, right? And they are so proud when you look at how they behave. It's as if they are so proud about what they're doing, and why can't you be a part of this? Why it's such a festive time, and you're basically singled out and sidelined. You are seen as the odd one.
Because the root, even though the Most High tell you that it cannot do good nor evil, the root of it is evil.
God.
This was originally designed to take worship and praise from the true God of this earth and to bring praise unto something else. right? So in other words, who is Christmas really bringing praise to? The merchants, your pastors, your bishops, and not the God of this earth, because they are the ones who benefit. Christmas Day. You know how much money church make on Christmas Day? Yeah, because everybody will go in there, make sure they have a nice sizable contribution this time. Who is it benefiting? Not benefiting the God of heaven. All right? So all these people will be hewn down and cut and cast into the fire with these pagan ways. All right, so questions? Any more questions, young man?
No more questions.
La, no questions.
All right, so with that, pass the class. Priest and officer Kayadwan.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for our brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, that is the Feast of Purim. This is on the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. And it will be held on Monday, the 14th of February, and Tuesday, the 15th of February next year. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 31. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK event and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say Imadium, which means to stand. Saralapanya Akodam, which means turn to face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamaya.
Shabashamaya.
Kwadash.
Kwadash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratizaka.
Ratizaka.
Aya.
Aya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Aya.
Aya.
Washamaya,
Washamaya,
Nathan Lanawa,
Nathan Lanawa,
Lakam,
Lakam,
Kal,
Kal,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalak Lanawa,
Wasalak Lanawa,
Kawabwat Nawa,
Kawawat Nawa,
Kasalat Nawa,
Kasalat Nawa,
Kawabwat Yanawa,
Kawabwat Yanawa,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Tabayanawa,
Tabayanawa,
Wanasayawan,
Banasayawan,
Abal,
Abba,
Awashainawa,
our Shinawa,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Amalakwat,
Wa'ala,
Wahala,
Wataparat,
Watapaharat,
La'aiwalamyam,
Laiwalam,
Ama.
Amen. In English, Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory,
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory,
forever. So be it. Amen.
forever so be it. Amen.
All right, prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth and all things living.
King of heaven and earth and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen that speak against us,
to the heathen that speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites
to the Edomites
and the nations
and the nations
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the court system,
the court system,
the prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the government of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
skinheads,
Pasikomitazi,
Pasikomatazi,
the gay movement, the lesbian movement,
lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street,
Open up the internet and the airways,
open up the internet and the airways,
the cable access channels,
the cable access channels,
and the radio channels.
and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the Edens
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
Let YAHANNA, Michael, and Gabriel.
Let YAHANNA, Michael, and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the Edens.
And punish all the Edens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always, so be.
Thank you always, so be. All right, this is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua.
Baba Kosha.
Baba Kosha.
Nafan Lanawa.
Nafan Lanawa.
Akak.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Kamakala.
Kamakala.
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Lata'ar.
Lata'ar.
Amatazaraya.
Amatazaraya.
Akak.
Akak.
La Akwaya.
La Akwaya.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Akak.
Akak.
Irakawa.
Irakawa.
Atamala.
Atamala.
Agarashan.
Agarashan.
Ba'asham Yahushua.
Ba'asham Yahushua.
THAWADAH Aman.
THAWADAH Aman. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
Cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Waha.
Bayatsapariam.
Bayatsapariam.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
Officers.
The officers.
Troopers.
The troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Ba'asham Yahushua.
Ba'asham Yahushua.
THAWADAH Aman.
THAWADAH Aman. What you just said in English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushua. Thank you so much. All
right, sir, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, I Marium Shabbat. Sila, when you're ready, sir. I Marium Shabbat. I Marium Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua Barakatah.
Yadamata, sir, which means to turn and face the sister. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, I Marium Shabbat. I Marium Barak. Yahweh Shema Alatan Basham Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shema Alatan Basham Yahweh Shai.
Madamata. Class dismissed.
All right. Remember, where you pay your tithes, online viewers, remember to sign in, the pull out the what do you call it again? The sign up sheet.
Okay.
Sign in your attendance to class.
Okay.
This counts towards you getting your Hebrew name.
Okay.
Remember to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channels and our Facebook channel too. ISUPK.com to pay your tithes. And with that, we say, what should we say? Shalom. All right, let me find
Shalom.
this. All right. I'm going to play the thing there. Share.
In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.